Welcome, everybody, to Rounding the Bases podcast. I'm Coach Coons along with Coach Porter and Coach Hart on Monday, the 19th, and a chilly Monday at that. But, coaches, the one thing I was going to bring up tonight was you see a lot of people on X or DMing, and they're all going to camps now, college camps, being invited to college camps, doing that, doing this. What should they be doing when they're at these camps in addition to performing at the camps? Is there take full advantage of something like that? That's kind of what I want to mention, seeing so much of it out there. Everybody is preseason form, getting invited here. Coaches are wanting to get looks at kids, things like that. So where's your take on this?
So I think that those camps are good, but I want to throw this out to people. If a Power Four, and most of these camps are Power Four camps, right?
Right.
So let's just say Clemson invited you to a camp or you signed up for a camp. I want you to ask yourself, am I being recruited by all of the other Division I schools in my area? If not, I'm probably wasting my money going to one of those camps. Think about that. There's your tell right there. There's your tell. So
Right.
if you're a kid that's in the travel ball circuit, which is great, you're playing at high exposure tournaments, you're 15, 16, 17 years old, whatever. You're at high exposure tournaments. You're in an area that's got D1s. Let's just say you've got you've got FBS, you've got FCS schools, whatever, Power Fours, whatever you want to call them. It's always changes. But let's just say, baseball, obviously, it's just one great big thing. If there's no, obviously there's P4s, but there's no, this division, there's no like the old school 1AA. So let's just say, school A is a Power Four in the ACC. Schools B, C, D, and E are all around me, and they're D1 schools, but they're not Power Fours. And there's D2 schools around me, right? And maybe some D3s and JUCOs. If I'm not getting recruited by those guys, why am I going to camp at Clemson?
Right.
There's my point. I think that stuff's really good, but I always ask people this every once in a while, because where we are we're in a little bubble here. Right? Where we are, where Coach Cart and I are, right? And we're actually surrounded by a lot of within 500 miles, there are a lot of schools, including D1s, including Power Fours. But in this area here, you've got 2 high schools in the immediate area with roughly 1,300 to 1,500 students. You've got 3 or 4 with 500 to 700 students. And you've got a couple that have really low enrollment, right? And that's just kind of in our 20-mile radius. Every once in a while, as baseball people, we hear from other people, and maybe they're not baseball people, maybe they are, that such and such is getting recruited or going to this camp. So automatically, my question is, are all these other schools recruiting you? I think that's a really fair question. I think it's something, the self-evaluation piece to look at. So why? I should probably focus on the level that I'm at. Now, you see this all the time. So anyway, that's the spot.
My other question would be, are you being recruited or do you receive a letter from them?
Yeah.
That's a difference too. As a former coach, I sent out tons of letters to try to pique interest as well sometimes. Did that mean you were being recruited? No, it didn't, but it meant that you might become recruited. So you got to take that into consideration. And then we had another podcast, I think Zach or somebody talked about it. Where does that college get most of their players from? If you're sitting in Alabama or you're sitting in Ohio, is Cal State Santa Barbara or Seattle, Washington, are they recruiting in your area? Or are they looking for kids out there? So you could get a letter, like you're saying, Chad, that would say, hey, come to our camp and you'll spend the money and go. It doesn't mean you're going to be recruited.
Now, an
You're
instructional camp is different,
right.
right? But even though it's an instructional camp, you're still on a job interview if you want to get, you know what I mean? I don't
Correct.
care where you're going. So I was like, let's self-evaluate here because it's harder and harder and harder on kids right now. The competition is at the all-time high.
Right. Zach, what's your take?
Yeah, so I actually had this conversation with a player yesterday, and he's 16 years old and has a little bit of projectability. But I mean, my question back to them was, hey, are you looking to go to this camp for development purposes, or are you trying to really get recruited? Because the model of the school that you're looking at from a camp perspective is that, you know, they're pulling guys that, you know, either dominated the Division II level, or they're pulling JUCO guys, or they're pulling guys, you know, if they're pulling in, you know, freshmen, then they're pulling guys that are basically freaks and they dominate, you know,
Right.
Texas and other areas. And so you just, my recommendation is always, you know, what are you trying to get out of it, right? If you're trying to be developed, then, and you're going in it, you know, trying to get another opinion. I know that, you know, we have one institution right now that's promoting, you know, biometrics data, and I know, I think coaches seen some of that stuff, and you've really, you know, you've got to have an eye for that. You've got to know what that's telling you.
Right.
And so those points are all really important. And then how you're going to apply them. The one thing that I challenge a lot of our younger players is, you know, what's the plan, right? I mean, you know, the situation I'm in, I've got, you know, a bunch of 15, 16-year-olds, you know, they're sophomores. Things are going to get really fast. I mean, what is your plan? What are your goals? Like, what are your strength goals right now? What are your development goals? What are your academic goals? And it's really time to start to figure those out. And a lot of kids need help figuring those things out. And not necessarily that we can tell you what you need to, what you're going to do, or how you're going to do it, but we can help guide you to get those answers. And we have a process to get you there. Those are the main points, that main conversations that I'm having with players right now. And it's really important. I mean, just like Coach Porter said, you know, we're talking about, you know, seniors that are graduating, that are competing against high school seniors, that are competing against, you know, 22, 23-year-olds, right? In the collegiate world now. So it's a different ballgame.
See, and that's the point I was just going to make. You know, the mentality out there is with the portal is, now let's just take baseball, for example. Would you want to take a chance on a 21-year-old kid who has seen 90-mile-per-hour pitching and up, or would you rather take a chance on a high school kid who hasn't seen that yet for your livelihood? Same with softball. You know, 65 mile an hour, you got a pitcher. Would you want to take a girl who has hit that at an average of 220, 230, or you want to take a chance on a high school kid to fill a spot? Now, not saying the high school kid's wrong, but they're going to look at the portal kid first. You know, and that's what it's coming down to. And that's the clients that I've talked to, or the players that I've talked to. We help you with a nudge up to get on that same level playing field. We, you know, stress how you can compete with the 21-year-old or the 20-year-old, or what you bring to the table. And, you know, with the three of us here with our reputations, that carries some weight at this point.
You also have to identify, like, you have to think of something, and I think this slips kids' minds. D2, D3, NAI, and JUCO is really, really, really good baseball.
Yeah.
And I think people get caught up in, you're looking at two Division II athletes right here. Like, people get caught up. I'm going to tell people right now, like, on my Division II baseball team, we had a big leaguer and a kid that made it all the way to, high A,
Yep.
right? Does that happen everywhere? No, but it happens a lot of places. But the other thing is this: what tool do you have? What tool do you have that aligns with the level, right? With the level that you need to be at. So, for example, if you realize, if you're a Division I infielder, you have to be elite at certain skills, not okay, not this. Okay. If you're going to be a Division II player, you need to be elite at certain skills, elite for that level, which I got news for everybody. I mean, there's a difference, but it isn't like, yeah, if you go play a team in this Division II conference and versus, UCLA, is there going to be, of course, right? But like, kids got to understand that there's other people. And I think kids need to be looking at D3s, JUCOs,
No doubt.
NAIA, because a lot of these kids that we'll talk to and have this stuff, you're like, well, I don't know that you could play at the NAIA down the road,
Right.
So like when you look at, you want to look at the numbers, which we've been calling them numbers for years. Now all of a sudden we're going to call them metrics because whatever. Okay. All right. Because we decided to put a radar gun on somebody's swing now, right? We're going to call them metrics now. Okay. So there's been, that type of stuff, obviously forever. But, there's certain things you have to do to warrant playing at the collegiate level. I don't know everybody thinks that, right? And, D2, NAI, D3, let's use the catcher for an example. We're going to use a catcher. We got a catching guy on here. Right? What do you think the average pop time for a NAIA D2 or D3 catcher is? What do you think, in your opinion?
Average in game?
What is the average in-game pop time? If I were to say, hey, what does this kid need to throw to play at this school?
Yeah, I would say average in game, you at least have to be at a 2-0. At least.
1,000%.
On the bag. And it's going to be on the bag every time. I think we miss that a lot, right? I mean,
yeah,
we go to showcases. These kids are throwing 1/8, but it's not the tag zone, right?
And they're up standing on the plate, and you got to push them back, and you got to, and plus, the other thing, there's a lot that obviously goes into that, but like baseball's getting better at every single level.
Oh yeah.
Every level baseball. Now, okay, let me take that back. The athleticism, the skills are getting better. I don't know that we're producing better baseball players. Instinctive baseball players. In a lot of cases, I think we're producing guys that swing, guys that throw, guys that run, guys that can do this. I don't know. And MLB scouts will tell you that. I don't know that the instincts are where they were. This, we're shifting a little bit. I think a lot of people tell you that. That we're recruiting people.
I'll tell you, you brought up, I went to a Division III tournament in York, Pennsylvania one time, the MAC. Do you want to go and be a 7%er or a 6%er and still continue playing college and have a great career? Or is your goal just Division I or bust? And I will say this, there were probably, the tournament started on a Wednesday, ended on a Sunday, and there were probably 25 scouts there every day. Division III tournament. And they'll sign those kids. They go everywhere. You've been in that business where stringers and scouts and everything else, they'll go to pickup games. They'll go anywhere if they get a sniff that there might be a kid. My second point is check out some of these facilities now of Division twos, Division NAIAs, JUCOs, Division threes. They are top notch. Some of them. I mean, the top 10. Do a Google search sometime. The top 10 Division three baseball facilities, or the top 10 Division three softball facilities in the United States. Take a look at some of those pictures. Schools are now investing in that stuff because they know with the portal and everything else, you're going to get trickle down effect or a trickle up effect, one of the two. So you can attract great kids to play. And maybe they move up, or maybe something happens, JUCOs move here, you don't know. But there are some awesome facilities out there that will enhance your career as you go.
I agree. I think the whole thing's changing, obviously, and what they're doing with JUCO eligibility. If you're a kid and you're serious about college baseball, I don't care who you are. Unless you're getting P4 looks, whatever. Why would you not look at the JUCO level?
Right.
Seriously. When you talk about why wouldn't you, if I'm a player right now, if I'm 16 years old, I'm going to a JUCO that way, down south, that way, right? I'm looking for JUCOs everywhere. I don't know why you wouldn't. You're going to play 6 years of college baseball, right? I don't know why you wouldn't. And the development at the JUCO level speaks for itself. And they tabled the 5-year eligibility thing in Division II till 2028.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, if I've got the dream, if I'm up against grown men, because it's trickling down Division II, these kids have to have somewhere to go. I'm going to go, I'm going to go JUCO. I'm going to raise my stock. I'm going to mature. I'm going to collect interest. I'm going to mature. That's exactly what I'm going to do if I'm that serious about this game. Now, there's high academic guys that are like, look, I'd rather just go to, this D2 or D3 and see what happens. That's great. But I would, JUCO, I mean, yeah. I can't stress it. JUCO, D3, D2, NAIA are really, really good levels.
And I think
yeah,
that's where we help fit in too. And Zach, you can allude to this because you have the training and stuff right there. Is we will help you at any level you want to be helped at, but we can also help you to fit in a slot where you're not going to be a little fish in a big pond, where you will thrive, have a great career, great academic situation, and have choices when you get done.
Absolutely. I think that's that's one piece that there's not a lot of entities that are doing the type of services that we're doing from a matching perspective out there.
Right.
I know that Coach Porter and I walked around ABCA and we intentionally looked for other services like ours, and they were really hard to find. I don't think we found any that were exactly like ours. And we're going to be offering some new elements coming up that are going to be completely different than anyone else offers in the world. So,
right. And like Coach was saying earlier, this isn't a hobby for us. This is a business. This is a job, and we work for you. And we exhaust it. We have nothing else. This is our time right here. It's you. I have a home office. I travel. You guys are the same situation as me. And our job is to exhaust every opportunity to help you become successful. And, I think we were, Coach Porter and I were talking a little bit this evening. Does our price scare people away? I don't know. Maybe because we're a lot lower than other companies, but we're not looking to do this. We're looking to maximize the effort for you with minimizing the costs that it would cost you and your family to do. And I think, you guys add to that, but I think that's, we could charge the $2,000 to $3,000 like the other companies out there that do 19 different sports and have 75 people working for them or 175 people working for them. And maybe that's why they have to have that overhead. But, I don't think you would be disappointed in working with us.
And even at that, you're rarely, I think, in this profession going to run into people who have done this. Like we've been on the other side. This is what 21 of 24 or 25 years of my career following playing in college. This is what I did.
Right.
Or do. So, and we're going to be truthful. We're going to be honest with you. It's not,
Yep.
We can have the hard conversation because we're going to build the relationship. The hard conversation of, look, maybe you're not a D2 kid like you want to be. Or, dude, I think you go to JUCO for a year or two, you're going to be a dude. Like, let's get your grades up maybe, and you're going to be a D1 kid or a draft kid. You can be a draft kid.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? Or a senior sign or a free agent sign. There's all kinds of different things. So it's like, we know it. So, I think what makes us different is we've been there. We know how to evaluate players. We know how to apply that valuation to the process of getting recruited and match you with the right place.
And
That's the biggest thing.
We have the contacts out there to put in your portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach Cart, in closing?
No, yeah, I think you guys. I think we've covered it tonight.
I think Coach Porter hit it on the head. If you are truly serious about playing at that next level, why not take the chance with us? We're certainly going to help you. We're going to have another. I was talking to Coach Porter earlier. We're going to have another free seminar on here where we'll invite you to come on. It won't be on Twitter or X or anything. It'll be just us. But to ask your coaching questions, I've had tons and tons of DMs and emails asking if we were going to have another one. So we'll get that set up, and hopefully next week we'll announce a date for that and send out invites and things like that where you can come on and ask whatever questions you want of us, of recruiting, of anything, no strings attached. So we'll look at that. But until next week, we hope this helped you a little bit. If you're going to these camps, make sure you're out on that campus and taking a look too. Compare the campuses. Don't just go for the instruction. The instruction is important. Don't look to go because you think you're going to get recruited. Look to go because you want to get better. And that's all you can do. Get better, a little bit better each day, and you will get recruited. But until next week, we will see.